Hello guys, Mr. Silk here. How to be confident around women. I mean, most guys are terrified with the thought of actually saying anything to any beautiful woman. And going up and actually start a conversation with someone you find really attractive, but you don't know is super terrifying for most guys. So if you're terrified, you're not alone. It's almost like a rule, almost like it's written in our DNA as a man to be scared approaching and talking to women. It is what it is, all right? So the bigger question is how to actually overcome it. I've been rooting into this field for a long time. I've been looking at many different dating advices, dating methods, and so on. But I also have academic degrees in both behavioral science and interpersonal communication. And that has opened my eyes to really see what actually makes you confident. And I can tell you this one, they are actually based on two main factors. The first factor is the methodology that you are using. They're going to lead to the other factors. When you are going to use a specific method in order to be able to interact with women, for example, that knowledge of how to handle a conversation will boost your confidence into a certain level. It's almost like saying that competence becomes confidence, you see? But that is not enough. But let's say that you are competent now to actually knowing the frameworks of how good conversation looks like. You're basically half there. But what is the other part? Well, the other part is positive reinforcement. It's a psychological term. When your brain knows that your actions leads to positive reactions, that is when your brain accepts that what you are doing actually are working. And if your brain knows that you're doing something that works, you become confident automatically. Your whole prefrontal cortex are telling you subconsciously that you are a confident person because you know what you're doing. It's a more or less of a survival instinct, basically like a survival of the fittest. It's like we have to take positive reactions that become positive reinforcement, and then we're going to build on that. So if you would be competent in a certain method, but you don't get any positive reinforcement, meaning that there are no positive reactions, then you will never become really confident. Really, you have to in some way then overwrite some part of your brain to just completely forget about those bad reactions and only focusing about those positive reactions. But even then, your brain are not fooled, or not going to be fooled. Your brain will still know that whatever you are doing is not really working. It only works for the exception of the rule, meaning that for the majority of times, you are not that competent. You are not doing something that works. That's why real methodology are so important, because real methodology is going to increase the likability the other person feels for you, that in turn going to create a positive reaction. They're going to make you much more confident than you ever thought were possible. So step number one, have the right conversational framework, work on it step by step, and then get those positive reactions to build your true confidence by receiving a lot of positive reinforcement. That is the only thing that actually works. What I can tell you now is that if you applying real conversational tools and frameworks with anyone, with beautiful women, with your working colleagues, with your family even, everyone is going to like you. There's no question about it. So your likability is going to be that high. And why is that? Well, according to the scientific principle of self-centeredness, when people are talking about themselves to someone who listens, they're automatically going to find you the most interesting person in the room. Because people love to talk about themselves, but only specifically to someone who actually are interested and are listening. So that is the main foundation of what real confidence is built on. There is basically nothing into it. I've been looking at hypnosis, NLP stuff. I've been looking at psychological methods as well as pseudo methods, and nothing really works because our brain are just too smart to be fooled. You either can do something that actually works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, your brain knows about it. So make sure that you are learning the right stuff and get those positive reactions to make you a completely different man who finally is confident. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video and I'll see you in the next one.